Hello everyone, it's me Pavlo, and today I've got for you a really satisfying daily dose of Ukrainian accent, because today we are talking about flagship model by TinHiFi named T7. Their price is $200, links as usual will be in the description, and in terms of specifications they deliver everything you can expect from a great single dynamic driver model. They use a 10mm driver with gold-plated diaphragm, dual magnet system, premium cable, spatial well-thought acoustic chamber inside of the shells, and even full copper spouts. But of course, the most interesting is the sound, what they deliver in this aspect. So let's have a closer look and find out. Box looks really nice, especially if you like minimalistic designs, because it's a total minimalism here, no fancy paintings, just model's name and a bit of information. Under this outer sleeve we can get access to the main box, really tightly sliding, because inner box has nice, interesting soft touch-like texture. You can see that flip has unusual shape. Underneath you'll get earpieces themselves and a pretty spacious bag, or actually case, with accessories. So let's see what we are getting here. Zippers are really tight, sliding, especially here at the angle. So a bit of careful approach is required here. So you'll get stock cable with replaceable connectors. You'll get lanyard, which is a pretty interesting accessory. You can use it to carry your case with you. Big set of tips, 2 pair of phones, and even spare filters if you decide to replace them. Earpieces looks great. TinHiFi managed to gather best materials in one shell, so you can see they made of metal, they have great polished faceplates made of real wood, and they shine more than my grandma's cupboard. And you can believe me, she spent half of her life polishing that cupboard. So also nice shiny spouts made of metal. They have really good angles, they have slightly above average length, so for me they provide a really nice fit. Thanks to the small size and proper spout angle, they have nice insertion and provide slightly above average sound isolation. There is a lip for holding the tips, and here are the protective grills. If you want, you can replace them, and overall level of craftsmanship here looks really nice. They are heavy, and that type of heaviness that gives you that sense of well-made thing. Maybe with time, if you won't be accurate, it can gather a bit of scratches and some traces of usage, but to be honest, I don't care about that, because things are made for wearing and using, and out of the box they looks great. Interesting unusual shape also, and that's what I really enjoy. Cables are made replaceable. Here used MMCX connectors, really tightly fitting, so good ones probably. We'll see how they will behave with time, but so far so good. And the stock cable is a true audiophiliac dream. It's thick, it's nicely braided, it has this attractive gold color, but at the same time it's about average in terms of softness with really low microphonics effect. So TinHiFi definitely spent some time testing and trying different cables. There are ear hooks formed here, and below ear hooks cable goes twisted to this splitter with chin slider, and it goes to this replaceable jack. And here we have our traditional usual deal. Unscrew this ring, and then you can pull it to remove. Then you can swap it and pay attention at the notch and the groove, then connect it back and then screw back. So compact, nice, small, reliable connection. Overall, I can say that build quality and all exterior is great. In terms of tuning, TinHiFi also did a great job. They took a great technical driver with good technicalities, but slightly tweaked it to give you more engaging and exciting type of signature, but managed to keep everything in balance. You're getting a lot of technicalities like details, micro contrast, but at the same time you're getting fun tight bass, you're getting slightly boosted treble to give you more spaciousness and airiness, and basically you're getting like best of two worlds. You know, I don't know proper English word, but in Ukraine, usually we like divide people into audiophiles and mellomans. So audiophile is the person who wants like absolutely highest quality, those who leaning towards the natural and monitoring signature, and the meloman or like casual music enjoyer is those who want a good quality, but at the same time more fun and engaging type of signature. And basically you getting here like a middle pass between these two variants. So bass goes deep, it's slightly accented, but not too much in terms of weight. But at the same time, punch here is really great. There is a noticeable tight rumble in the deep bass, and mid bass also hitting pretty strong when it's necessary. It's almost not boosting low frequencies when it's not present in the record, but on the bass heavy tracks you'll get a lot of impact and tightness, but actually not the body itself. So bass is pretty detailed with good detalization and small nuances and crazy punch, but at the same time weight is really balanced, at least to my taste. It's definitely not overweighted. I've seen some opinions that they're lacking weight, but actually not to me, because they deliver exactly that quantity of bass I prefer. And first example, it's Chris Jones, Long After You Are Gone, and it's a pretty well recorded track, but at the same time bass here is noticeably boosted to be more fun and engaging, and thanks to technical capabilities of these earphones you getting like super full-bodied bass, but at the same time thanks to the great control, bass stays at its place, almost stays of course, because it's still slightly shadowing mid-frequencies because of like acoustics, but still mids remain pretty clean and crisp. And here is the track that just sounds magnificent with these earphones. That monotone bass rhythm, like punch, 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 cymbals kick, and that monotone rhythm builds the foundation, and on top of that you're getting a lot of instruments, you're getting vocal, and all that builds great contrast, really enjoyable experience with these earphones. There is a bit of coloration by bass of the lower mids, but it's done the way that resolution doesn't suffer, because you're still getting nice resolving mid frequencies with good micro contrast, but at the same time not overly done or too monitoring. But still resolution is great, and there is a bit of weight on the lower mids, lower mids, let's say so, but it usually works for the more engaging signature, getting a bit of additional body to low male vocals and some instruments. They are not super critical for the quality of records, but still good records is like great plus for these earphones, because poorly recorded stuff sounds also listenable, but still it's better to get better masters, remixes and stuff like that. Resolution is great, and there is no big upper mid spike, so they sound pretty organic, but at the same time they don't sound lacking that sparkliness and airiness in the upper mids area. Sorry, imaginary stage is pretty spacious, maybe not the most huge and not most three-dimensional, but still positioning is really nice and depth layering is done really well. They are good in representing something epic, but when it's necessary to play something intimate, they also do a really good job. So, first example, it's Bittersweet by Marillion, and it has nice introduction with interesting cymbal sound and great emotional vocal, because Fish is one of the best vocalists in the rock history, at least in my opinion. And great melody. Actually, what I'm doing, I'm just promoting Marillion to you. But who knows that Marillion is a great band, and I definitely recommend it to you if you want to listen to some good music with nice tunes, with great lyrics, and with all that. And these earphones deliver everything with proper balance of details and musicality. And Lament by Lingua Mortis Orchestra actually is a good example of the epic tune with orchestra, with heavy metal chorus, but recorded not the best way, and with many earphones it either sounds too sharp or sounds too veiled and muffled. And here you getting like maximum of this track with, because of good balance, you getting both immersion into this epicness and at the same time nice coherent signature representation. And the treble, it's not boosted probably, to my ears, but it's not recessed, so it's energetic, it's slightly forward. It's not too much for me, but if you're sensitive to the high frequencies, it can be a bit too sparkling and bright for you. Treble has nice extension, above average. Layering is kind of okay, not great, but nice. But overtones are great, both basic and complex ones, thanks to this attacks and decays done in a proper manner. They don't sound too airy or too lightweight, so really good representation of treble, and it's balancing tight, impactful low frequencies nicely, and you're getting really engaging signature. So, first track is Layla, Unplugged by Eric Clapton. Great immersion into the live concert atmosphere. Guitar sounds nice with all overtones, all that audience sounds, Clapton's vocal, everything like works in favor of these earphones. And Jupiter, I really recommend this to you. Echoes of Ellington Jazz Orchestra. It's a great orchestra that works with Duke Ellington's legacy, and they decided to make a cover version of Gustav Holst Planets, but in Duke Ellington big band style, really engaging type of covering. I wanted to select Uranus, but with my pronunciation it could be more funnier than I'd like it to be. So Jupiter is also really good track with a lot of brass instruments, and you understand that this means a lot of overtones, and it's nicely recorded, so they all are preserved, and these earphones deliver it to you with all that nuances. These earphones are not hard to drive, but at the same time they have a lot of potential of scaling with source. It's typical for good earphones, and this model is not an exception. So with some good player or deck, they will grow maybe not significantly, but noticeably. So you can easily buy them if you don't have great source, but then when you upgrade source, they will reward you. And in terms of comparison, just a few models, probably two models. First one is NF Acus NM25 that I reviewed recently. They both are pretty technical, but NF Acus tries to be more on the natural side. Here you're getting more tightness on the low frequencies and slightly more energy put into the high frequencies area, so a bit more fun here. And the Fuse FD7, one of my most favorite dynamic driver earphones that I often enjoy. Here you're getting a bit less weight in the low frequencies, but slightly more tightness. So a bit more focus on the small nuances on the lows and mids, and a bit less forwardness in the treble area. So, they have a similar idea in mind, but here TinHiFi does a bit less steps into that fun side of tuning. So overall, as you can easily understand, I really enjoyed these earphones and definitely can recommend them if you're looking for technical but fun sounding dynamic drivers. Thank you for listening, thank you for your attention, and have a great day.